Welcome to Crafts and Minis. Sorry I've taken a couple weeks off from doing a Hobby Week video, but I have definitely been hobbying, and today I wanted to share all that I've been working on. Now, this is not a painted miniatures video, so if you're looking for painted minis, come back later or go look at my previous videos of the work I've done in painting miniatures, but these are in the process of being painted. In the last couple weeks, I've been working a lot on assembling, converting, basing, and priming a whole slew of miniatures, as you can see. And so today I wanted to do a video showing you what I've got in the works, because I go through these phases. I don't always just hop on the painting train. In fact, I do this a lot where I go through a huge phase of assembly and basing and then priming, so I just have a huge selection of miniatures. For me to keep the progress going with consistent painting, I need to have a big selection of stuff and just see where the inspiration takes me, right? To see what I want to get done. And today I had some fun stuff to show you. So I'm going to show you all the dragons first, because I've been on this real dragon kick lately to get these assembled, because I want to paint them. So the first things first. I got, I think, 11 of these ready to go. These are from WizKids, the Nolzur's line of Dungeons & Dragons monsters through WizKids. Retail $5 US. $5 United States, which is nuts. And they come on a large size base, a 2-inch base. I mounted these on fender washers. It just works a lot better. And you'll notice, since I'm doing large size or bigger creatures in the last couple weeks of assembly, I've been using a different basing technique, right? Just adding a little more to the bases. You can see I kind of overdid it on this guy, but he's coming out from the ground, this Ankeg from Reaper Bones. I've painted this mini before. It's great. I put these like little pebbles, right? It's kind of like kitty litter all the way around. And then on some miniatures, I do that just in spots, and then I put pumice around, and that's actually my favorite technique to do. But you'll see the bases are done up a little extra. So back to this silver dragon, I believe, from WizKids. I really like this mini. The wings of this dragon are awesome. They have this texture that takes ink and washes really well, and you know that's my style, quick and dirty. And I've painted up this dragon like a cool purple one, where then I did the indigo on the edges, and that was awesome. But I got 11 of these because I'm looking ahead. So right now when I'm filming this, it's May. In September, at the end of September, there's a local gaming convention near me called Recruits that's designed to get young people into the hobby. And last year I had a table where I sold some minis, which was a lot of fun. And I don't want to go through much eBay selling anymore. I've done that a little bit, dabbled in it, not that keen. I really like the in-person, just meeting people, talking to them, not having to do shipping and all that, and the hassle of that. So that was really fun to be able to have a table. Now, when I did that though, I noticed, at a convention, people, it's interesting what they're looking for, but if you're going to spend money on a painted mini, even though mine were really, I thought, super reasonably priced for painted miniatures and decent quality paint jobs, right? Look at my other videos to see if you agree. People wanted like the bigger pieces, and of course dragons are big usually. So I did that. Like I had one of these. This is a Reaper Bones Pathfinder style red dragon painted up, and it sold, right? Great. But I also, what sells, of course, I love it that it sells, but it also tells me what people are interested in, what sells more. Like I had like a dozen owlbears from WizKids that had just come out that I painted up and all that. I sold maybe a couple, but obviously people weren't into the owlbears at that time. But this dragon, that sold, and I only had one. And, I started thinking about it. Yeah, if you're going to like pay money for a paint job on a mini, you want your like centerpiece models, right? And the dragons are definitely centerpiece models. Okay, so I really like this model too. The wings are a little floppy on some of them. I have 4 of these primed after I assembled and based them. And see, I put some Herstarts pieces on these. So Herstarts, have the molds, the latex molds that you can put the stuff in. Oh, I just went blank. I like dental plaster, different plasters. Plaster of Paris, dental plaster is really good. I have a big old box of leftover Herstarts pieces like this that I just use for basing now. And this originally has a ruin, like with a face, but I wanted this to be more universal, so I covered up that on all 4 of these. And this is a really fun dragon to paint. If you're getting into painting dragons, these 2 are where I say you should start. Start with this one. It's super cheap, $5 US. Then if you want to try like a Bones Dragon, this is a great one to try. Got 4 of those ready for the paint. Also, when it comes to Bones miniatures, here's, I think, the Temple Dragon from Reaper. It's in the Bones material. And when you look at these, right, these are pretty similar. I mean, they're different styles a little bit, right, obviously, but they would serve the same role in a game. You could paint these up the same type of dragon, and no one would complain, probably. The Silver Dragon from WizKids and this Temple one from Reaper, but I really like the Silver one from WizKids better. The Temple Dragon's nice, though. I wouldn't mind getting some more of these, but it was more expensive than this one. So there you go. That's a win for WizKids in affordability, at least on something that I prefer the style of over the Reaper option. Let me just check real quick. I don't think I have... Oh, no, here's another Reaper Dragon. This is one I've painted up before. Not that long ago, I painted it up as a gold dragon. I think it might be a copper or bronze dragon. It's on a 4-inch base. That's gargantuan size, right? In D&D. And I got 2 of these ready. I have one more in a blister that I found. But I really like those. Those are really striking, that pose, and on a big 4-inch base. Those are great size minis. So those are the Reaper dragons that I prepared. Oh, one more Reaper. This I mounted on a 2-inch fender washer. This is from Bones 4, the new Kickstarter that's being delivered all over the world right now. And I really, of course, enjoyed my delivery, and I'm trying to get stuff together for that. This is a Wyvern from that, right? And on a 2-inch base, large size Wyvern. Cool. I really liked it. Okay. The other things from Bones that I got were from the Dragons Don't Share kit. There's this terrain. I got 3 bases of terrain out of that Dragons Don't Share kit, and then I put her starts pieces on there and the different basing materials, right? But these are terrific. Now, that forms a really cool looking diorama, and Michael Mordor, the Goblin King, actually has some videos about that diorama that are great. But I didn't want a diorama, and for me, just having the pieces separate is more helpful, right? Like there's another one. And so that was really cool to get some more terrain based up, which was awesome. Now, when it comes to other dragons, one of the dragons I got is a Chardalon, and I know because his name's on his base. I just kept him on his base from the Wrath of a Chardalon D&D board game. Now, these board games from D&D are great because, one, you get awesome monsters, right, that are D&D specific, which is cool if you play D&D, but also they're really affordable. And there have been some good deals on Amazon lately on some of these board games. I have had this one for a while, and it's a great dragon. I actually used a heat gun to expand the wings a little bit, to pull them back a little bit. Otherwise, he can be covered up a little by the wings. I also did that on all the joins for the big Reaper dragons and stuff. Sometimes you got to use a heat gun. Some people use just the hot water trick where you put it in hot water, bend it to where it's originally at, or it goes there on its own, and then you dunk it in cold water. Well, that usually works for the Reaper material, but sometimes it doesn't, and I got to show you this guy. Okay, here we go. Is that a sad dragon or what? He's kissing the ground. That's not what you want from a huge dragon. It's on a 4-inch base. This thing is monstrous. Like, these wings are ginormous, right? And this is a Bones 4 dragon. This is one of the most recent dragons Reaper has put out. And, you know, I love Reaper, but this dragon is just not doing it for me. If anybody else has had problems with this model, it's from the Bones 4 Kickstarter, let me know. I did use a heat gun to adjust the legs so that it would actually sit on a base. Otherwise, the legs were all bent. So I need to do that trick. Maybe I should have done the hot water trick into cold water right away trick. But, you know, the wings, as pictured, are up like this, right? And so what I did, okay, I had Droopy, and I had him primed even and everything. And I'm like, I can't keep him like this. So I clipped it like that so it was standing up straight, and then I clipped the wings together at the ends so that they were together. So it was like standing up straight, those were together, and I put it in my freezer for a week. And for like a minute when I took it out, oh yeah, those wings were up, he was standing up straight, but then he started getting sad again. So I don't know, I could try to pin him down to the base in the back there, but I don't know if it's something I really want to do. I mean, if I was wanting this for my collection, awesome. I might just put a super reasonable price on it at the local convention, see who wants to Tried to do some extra work on it, but Droopy was not my friend. Let's talk about something happier. Descent. The board game Descent from Fantasy Flight Games has gone through a couple editions, I do believe. This is one of those dragons. I think it's a Dracolich from the first edition of Descent. I actually picked up a couple copies of this at the Gamers Garage sale the evening when I went back. And if you're in our Cheap Miniatures Discord group, then you saw that I went back and picked up a couple boxes of Descent. I didn't make a video on that. I just did on the main day haul that I got from that Gamers Garage sale. But I got 4 of these for Descent from the first edition. Now what's kind of cool is they put out a second edition and they redid some of these figures. And this is the second edition version, I believe, of this mini. Now, the one on the left you see is on a 3-inch MDF base. And the one on the right is on a 2-inch metal fender base. I like the one on the right better, just because of the pose, and the base is smaller, which works out nice, and it makes sense. This was the second edition mini. This is the first edition mini. And yeah, that worked out cool. But these, I got 4 of these, but they were from, and you see the ribs there. That's how I know it's an undead one for sure, right? And the wings are all chewed up at the ends. These I got from expansions of the second edition Descent game. So I didn't get these at the Gamer Garage sale. But, I really like the other pieces in this particular expansion. I don't remember the name of it, though. I got 3 of these from the first Descent also. These wingless dragons, which are cool. Like those a lot. And any other dragons from Descent? No, none from Descent. But from Zombicide Black Plague. So here is one of the dragons from Zombicide Black Plague. It is on, I believe, a 3-inch base, which is great. 75 millimeter. It's an undead dragon. Or you could paint this up just to be a beat-up old dragon, right? It's got some holes in his wings. It is awesome. I don't remember the name of this expansion. It's the one that also comes with ghosts and rats. But I really liked it. It's got some cool armor that you could pick out, and all that, which is awesome. Then I got this other Zombicide Black Plague dragon that came from, I think, the Kickstarter exclusive miniatures box. I actually picked up that box for super cheap at a local game store that they, I guess, went in on the Kickstarter and got some of the stuff. And, that wasn't a normal thing to be sold, so I got a crazy deal, and I'm really grateful for that. Blandco does a great video on that box. He picked it up at a game store auction for super reasonable, and this is just a gargantuan-sized dragon that came from it. So that was fun. We'll see how that paints up. It's always crazy trying to paint up huge dragons. All right. I think that's it when it comes to dragons. Oh, I wanted to do a cool little comparison of 3 griffins that I painted up. Or not painted up, got primed up. Okay. 3 griffins. Boom, boom, boom. This, WizKids. Nice. I really like the profile of the head. That is a just solid griffin on a 2-inch base. Now, this is a Bones griffin from one of their previous Kickstarters, but not the latest one. And you see it compared to that, it is bigger. I put it on a 60 millimeter base, I believe. That's just a little larger than 2 inches, and it works out cool. But this is the newest Bones 4 Griffin that has a different pose, and the wings are posed differently. And I just wanted to show you the comparison. These are like 3 affordable Griffins out there that if you need a Griffin in your game, you got your WizKids or you got your Reaper Bones options. This one, I believe you can't get just in a retail store yet or from Reaper yet individually since it's from the latest Kickstarter. But, within the year, hopefully, they'll have that available for you too. But those are some Griffins. All right. I'm speeding through this if it sounds like it a little bit just because, 1, these are just primed miniatures. But 2, I already filmed this video and it went way too long. So I'm keeping the time in mind. Another thing that you got to watch out for are sales on board games that have miniatures. Miniature Market just did a sale this spring, and I picked up some miniatures from the board game The Others. Boom, boom, boom. These are just crazy monstery minis, right? I don't remember which one was from the core box set and which one was from like the Apocalypse expansion for the others, but it's from Cool Mini or Not. This is one of those games from Cool Mini or Not that goes on sale at different places at different times, even from Cool Mini or Not, even though I saw their store was down, which is interesting. They were kind of revamping things. They had a crazy Black Friday sale after Thanksgiving at Cool Mini or Not, where I got some really good stuff, even picked up some stuff from the others then, but I hadn't picked up these. This guy, Mr. Tentacles, he's a cool monster, fun to paint up. This guy, it's awesome. I love this. He's got hooves, right? And he's got this crazy maw, the mouth, and all these tentacles and other mouths on it too. Like, oh, it's just really kind of gross. But I'm like, you know what? I bet I have another hoofed monster, like a minotaur with a loincloth that I could then have in an encounter where the minotaur is facing the party, and then, you know, some magic user casts something on this guy to where he just erupts, or, you know, whatever. You come up with the idea that then it changes in, it just erupts into this monstrosity of chaotic nastiness. And I think that'd be really cool. It'd be awesome if they made a mini like that that had the same armor on it, but, you know, it would be awesome. Nom, nom, nom. Those were two from the board game, the others. Remember I did a video on cake toppers, toys that are made to go on top of cakes. Well, this is Hela from Thor Ragnarok. That is a cake topper. I mounted her on a 2-inch Fender washer, and she's going to be fun to paint up. I really like, for this large of a piece, that it has some more contour in the cape, which is going to be fun to paint. Hopefully come out pretty well. But that was fun. Love using toys on the tabletop. Speaking of toys, I've been doing a lot of work on Funko Pop toys. So you know Funko Pops are the bobbleheads? They have them for like any pop culture thing you're into. Well, this was Snoke Funko Pop from Star Wars. The body is from that, and then the head is from another Funko toy. It's actually a Funko mystery box toy that I got the head from. And so I took off the big old bobblehead. I put on this head, even though the head's still a little oversized. And I did a little putty work on the eyes, and then it doesn't have a mouth. So he's going to be some crazy large-size magic user that only has hearing. And yeah, he's going to be cool. But I just like the pose on the body, so that's fun. When it comes to Funko Pop toys too, some you don't even have to convert. Now, not many would I say you don't have to convert to use on the tabletop, but this big old dog thing, I really like. Now, you can tell it's a Funko Pop toy because the head is ginormous compared to the body. But look at that. That's really fun. It's on a 4-inch base, so that's a gargantuan creature. But a gargantuan creature this size, I think is really, really cool. Actually, I think I might paint it up metallic, and then it would be some sort of forged creature. Oh, that just is awesome. It's some huge guardian, or, you know, obviously you can make this some sort of cool celestial or something in your D&D game. All right, I did some converting on some Funko Pop stuff that I wanted to show you. This I'm relatively happy with. This is actually for a creature in my current D&D campaign. I took the body of Thanos. I put a plastic skull on there, and then I used aluminum foil to make this like flaming hairdo thing. It's not supposed to be hair, it's supposed to be flame, magical flame of a flaming skull, right? And then I did the same thing on his hands, put aluminum foil, and then I did hot glue around both. So he's got a flaming head, flaming hands, and yeah, he's a good time. He's on a freaking 4-inch ginormous base. So yeah, he's a huge monstrous creature. He makes sense in my game. I am conscious of the time though of the video, so I'm not going to go into his whole backstory, but he's okay. When it comes though also to some of the Funko Pops, I got 6 of the same Funko Pop, and it's the Durgar Funko Pop toy from Elder Scrolls. And so it had this head on it originally on all these. Okay, so there you go. That's what the original one, if you're looking for, Durgar Funko Pop Elder Scrolls. Just look up Elder Scrolls Funko Pop. You'll find this guy. I got 6 of them. I really like the body. I mean, I really like this body that has this jagged sword, That's a skeletal body that fits on a large size base. And once I saw it fit on a large size base, I got more of these. And so this body was great to be the basis of these large size skeletons, these giant skeletons, that if you look at my video on Monsters of Feyland, there are large size skeletal creatures in there that I really want to get into my game. So Andrew at Kwood Publishing, this is a shout out to you. You inspired this conversion. And what I did was I took aluminum foil over a plastic skull from like some Halloween toys. I think this was actually from a Halloween bracelet with skulls on the bracelet. And I clipped those off, mounted it up, put aluminum foil as the head covering, and then I used hot glue around it to mold it around. And I wasn't sure how it was going to look, but once you prime these up, it turned out really cool. And each one of these are unique because obviously I didn't cast it to have the same exact figure. I did different looks on all the head coverings. And I thought those were really cool. So when it comes to converting minis, look at all your different sources. These were Funko Pop toy bodies. I didn't do anything to the bodies, by the way. The bodies are all the same. So all this like material that's fallen off and all that, that's the original thing. And I think it looks really cool with this head covering. And when I paint them up, hopefully they'll be awesome. Now, I'm not as happy with this one, but it's still fine. This is from Funko Pop Sauron. You can tell that, actually you can tell he's got the ring. And the body was that. Now, I used the same skull, and I did a head covering, and it's okay. You know, I pulled it down a little further. He has a cape. It's kind of weird, but he looks all right. Now, my hope is when I paint all these guys up and have them together, it's going to turn into a really cool band of giant skeletons where this guy could maybe be the Lich or just like the armored one. He's got a mace. They've got these jagged swords. They've all got these crazy head coverings. And that was just really fun to do. So when you look over what I've been doing, no, I haven't been painting anything. So all the goblins with Michael Mordor, the Goblin Kings, hashtag Goblin Paint Challenge, I have been neglecting that. But I've been getting some other stuff done that I'm really happy about because now I have this whole selection. And for me, being consistent with painting means I have a big selection of stuff to choose from. And I'm looking ahead. I'm looking ahead to the end of September. It's May when I'm filming this video. And when that convention is, Recruits, I'm going to have another table. I'm going to have a bunch of dragons for people to choose from. And it also gives me the flexibility that I can just keep them for my game too. Or once I've used them in the game, if I want to, you know, share that joy with somebody else, awesome. But I just wanted to show you what I had going on. I appreciate you checking this out. I have not forgotten about this channel, even though it's been a little bit since an update. I really appreciate all the new subscribers too. Welcome. And everybody, you know what time it is. It's time to go get after your hobby. Thanks.